American rockers, A Day to Remember, are headed to the Ledge Amphitheater Thursday, June 6th. See them when they take the stage with special guests. The story so far, and 4 years strong. Tickets are still available, but we've got your last chance to win tickets. Caller 11 right now will win your way in. Call 800-320-5326. Plus, the Power Hour is live, powered by our friends at Quantum Fiber.
Hey! Hi, everybody. I don't know why. Hi.
Hi.
Everybody waiting on it to come on, There's Ben, there's Mr. Mussman, Corey, Saucy.
Hi.
Over there's Maxo. Oh, Zacho's up in the corner up there. Zach, have you been there the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Just kind of sitting there watching us?
Pretty much.
Oh.
Wait. Where is Zach?
California.
What the hell?
And by the way, a couple things. One, hi, Ben's dad. And two,
the callback.
A lot of other people have asked why we don't start the Power Hour before 8 a.m. on Mondays for some reason. I don't know why. But apparently a lot of people like to watch Ben's days. I don't know why.
Yeah, Ben, they like to look at you.
That's very sweet. I have no role in that. What?
No.
It's all Muss. Maybe I should scoot closer to this camera over here.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Well, then if we started earlier, then you couldn't call it the Power Hour.
Good
point.
We'll have
to change the name.
The wordplay
Does sound nice.
The wordplay is very nice.
Put an S at the end.
Power Hours.
Whoa, buddy.
You put an S at the end.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So I thought for a second on Friday night I was going to be a part of a news story, an actual news story.
I
Just
can't
for
wait
a
to hear this.
split second, I thought, uh-oh.
Did you almost get caught?
This is going to turn south pretty quickly.
Are you having yourself in a thing?
No. So, kiddo graduated on Friday night, right?
Congratulations.
Bailey
That's awesome.
graduated.
Yep.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Class of 2024. Congratulations to Bailey. So, even though I went to the University of Minnesota, I don't believe until Friday night, I don't think I had ever been inside Mariucci Arena.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Because I've never seen I've never seen a
what
Gopher
a loser.
Right, I've never seen a Gopher hockey game. Didn't
How
go.
are you not
Not
to
one
that
time?
at all?
I agree.
On
not
that
once.
campus of all
Didn't go.
campuses, you don't go to the
Didn't
Mooch?
go.
Dude,
The what?
I know what you're about to say.
Smooch.
I guarantee I know what you're about to say, Corey.
Really?
What you just went through Friday night's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. All those different graduations going in and out of there. Did somebody want to kill somebody else and almost get in a fight?
So
and
yeah, it
kill
was just
everybody?
one. Yeah, it was just one. So Wyzetta graduated Friday
really?
night.
Okay, because
It's
there were like
massive.
9 in one day when
Okay.
Alex graduated there.
It's massive. Yep. Their class was 844 kids.
Yeah.
And I think Bailey was one of the 20 or so first kids called. So it's not like, all right, we'll wait 20 minutes, something to look forward to. Her name gets called, and then it's 20 more. She was almost first.
Did they
so
do-
then it was just 45 minutes of names.
Is this alphabetical, or do they just kind of randomly?
Well, so kind of. Each section is like the left side starts with the A's, the right side starts with the L's. So it kind of goes back and forth. Long story longer, though. So superintendent gives the speech, principal gives the speech, right? Mariucci's packed. Like the entire stand's basically full. Kids are all on the floor. Speech. Then the two kids get up there. They do their speeches. Then they're about to do the name calls, right? And it's 844 names. And beforehand, of course, we talked about this last week.
Oh, my God.
Principal guy goes, now look, there's a lot of names. There's 844 graduating students. Let's all show a little decorum here. Let's all hold our applause to the end. And he even made the point. He goes, a lot of you, want to hear your child's name. It's a big moment for a lot of you. Can you imagine if, somebody was yelling so loudly that you didn't get to hear your child's name? Right. Basically telling the adults in the room,
right.
Let's be adults and not ruin somebody's graduation.
Oh, no.
Right? Must have said it 3 times. Let's all show a little decorum. Let's be adults. Let's hold our applause to the end.
Just forget it.
And it was like, name number 1. It was like, Aaron Abrams. Yeah! You're like, God dang it. It lasted 1 or 2 names.
Yeah.
And nobody could help it. Like every 10th name, some group would just scream like it was, a horror movie. Like literally screaming like they were getting
And
stabbed.
literally screaming. That's the new thing.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Screaming, not yaying.
not
screaming
right.
like somebody's
But
been
they're
stabbed.
screaming like they didn't know what the result was going to be. Like
Right.
you're just
They didn't
finding
like-
out now.
like surprise,
Oh, you
right?
graduated. Like yeah! they didn't drive them there.
So that happened a handful of times, and the 2 gals that were going back and forth reading the names a couple of times did take 1 extra breath to hope that the screaming had stopped. But there were, out of 844 names, I bet there were about 5 names that did get kind of washed out because of the screaming. I'm like, man, if that had been my kid, I'm throwing punches, which is where this is going.
I knew it. I knew it. Yes.
Thousands of people at Mariucci, and I was a section or two over. It was about 13 or 14 rows in front of me, about 1 or 2 sections over, and we were probably, 10% of the way through the names. So it was pretty early. And all of a sudden, I see a group of about 30 people all stand up, and one guy is climbing over the seats.
Go.
And he's got his fist cocked back.
Get him.
And everybody's like, no. And like this gal behind me, who was again 2 sections over or whatever, she just goes, no, not at the graduation. No. Like, she has nothing. She has no stake in this. Outside of just
What
like,
about the children?
right, it's please don't ruin this for me. She's like, not at the graduation. No.
I haven't screamed yet.
Right, exactly. So she's screaming at these all, adult men and women as if they are children, like basically, sit down. So no punches were thrown, but the guy had to be held back. And then everybody was yelling at that whole group, like, don't do this, please stop. They're death staring each other like, if this wasn't a graduation, I would kill you right now. That's the looks on the guys' faces. So there were some people from Wayzata High School. I don't know exactly what their roles were. They walked over and basically was like, everybody's got to calm down. At one point, a police officer came down and tried to calm down the situation. I don't know what was said or what happened. That guy wanted to throw fists, and I can't believe he held back and didn't. Paul, your hands up.
So a hockey graduated that night?
I don't think so, unless his name got drowned out.
Right.
Listen, no.
Somebody trying to steal their women?
But I thought for a second, I'm like, this is 30 people, and everybody's mad. If these 30 people start throwing fists, we're going to have an all-out brawl, and I don't know how we're going to stop this.
So up until that point, you did not recognize that section or that group of people were like
because
being extra loud or being extra disrespectful?
Because so many different groups from all over the arena had yelled when their kid graduated. My guess is somebody down there had yelled and pissed off somebody, but I don't know what was said because I was so far away. But all I saw was a guy with his fist cocked back, with fire in his eyes, ready to throw fights. And he was climbing over the seats and had to be held back and stopped.
You got to go.
I know.
Must your hands up.
This is coming from me that you probably shouldn't tailgate before a graduation party.
Right.
Yeah. The graduation
From one
ceremony.
tailgater to everyone else.
Right.
A friend told you.
Yeah.
But
I just don't get it, man. I don't understand the whole. Why can't we just wait 45 minutes and all clap together?
I'm surprised you
Totally
didn't
nuts.
leave after your daughter's name was announced.
You wanted
You just sit there for
Trust
the
me,
next.
he wanted to.
Yeah, he was on his phone anyway. It doesn't matter. He's either on his phone outside or he's on his phone sitting there in a comfy seat.
Put down those old
Watching
goggles
poker.
with the eyes on them, pretended like you were awake.
right.
Listen, it's a recipe for disaster. So there was no throwing a fist once they got outside because
Hopefully,
She said not at the graduation.
Yeah,
she didn't say
right,
anything about
right.
afterwards.
I don't know
gotta
why
turn around
that
and
lady
say-
was the one that made me laugh the hardest, though. She was so convinced that her screaming was going to stop the fight, even though they were in, blood mode, right? They were bloodthirsty. They didn't hear a word she said.
Crib mode?
Okay, so I didn't know that this was a thing. So hockey, as Corey's setting up the story, you knew exactly where this is going.
Let me tell you,
what?
man. Every
Is this a
graduation,
thing at graduation?
every graduation I've ever been to, there's a certain group of people who don't care about the rules at all.
At all.
And a certain group of people who care way too much about the rules. There's
Well
very
said.
few of us in between who are just laughing at the whole ridiculous, the whole situation. There's a group of people who want to kill the screamers and a group of people who are screaming who don't care at all about the people who want to kill them. It's a recipe for disaster. I can't believe there's been no gunplay.
100%.
I'm serious.
And of
I'm
course, when
being
there's 30,
serious.
there were, you had to go through metal detectors to get in, but even though there were 30 people, that was one of my first thoughts. I'm like, how bad could this be?
Yeah.
But Chris just nailed this thing perfectly because it's not just like, how do I describe this? So in between each name, there's a lot of names to get through. There's about a 3 or 4 second little break. So it's not just like Paul Lambert, and you don't just hear like, yeah, Paul, right on. Like that would at least quickly
believe
die
it.
down before the next name, right?
Your
though
dad
that's-
definitely did
Even
that.
though
He
that's
was
not
surprised.
following the rules, at least you're like, all right, you're definitely going to cut
short
off
and
the
sweet.
volume before the next name is read. The 4 or 5 names I'm talking about 20 seconds of shrieking.
I literally, and Ben, it's a new thing.
Like you won the Super Bowl. It's like, what?
I went to Lauren Kay's graduation this year from college. The difference between Alex graduating from high school, what he's talking about, to Abigail graduating a couple of years ago from high school to Lauren K. graduating this year from college, Metropolitan State University, the screaming went from yay to ah to ah.
Yeah, it's that.
Like murder scenes.
Like,
I'm telling you, it is not an exaggeration.
No.
It sounds like Jamie Lee Curtis being chased.
Yes.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know.
get it.
Why are we yelling?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
And
it.
again, I'm telling you, I've seen, when I mentioned it the other day, I got multiple videos from people sending me, check out what happened at our graduation. Same thing.
Yep.
That's the trend now. Screaming, violent screaming.
Terrible.
And no child walking across getting their name read wants to be associated with this psychotic screaming that's coming from the group of people.
Right.
No, it's unbelievable.
And what's weird, here's the weirdest part. This is what I couldn't stop thinking of is, let's say that you're the kid after the 20-second shriek freak out, right? Then it's like, Michael Mussman. Hello! And it's...
Pee-wee's not there.
Pee-wee's not there.
Pee-wee's hype.
That would be awesome.
That was a big deal in Owatonna, buddy.
That was well played.
But even though the next kid's family is technically following the rules, when it's dead silence.
Oh, I know the poor
Then
kid.
it's almost like,
it's worse.
wow, no one cares about me. It's like, no, they do. They're just following the rules.
Yeah.
Sorry that your family didn't lose their minds for 15 to 20 seconds.
Right.
It's probably the big
man.
venue kind of thing because, Max, you know at SES,
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
Zoo
yeah.
School, when Ruby graduated, you're right there at the zoo in, what is that called, the stadium there? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
The amphitheater thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's awesome.
So, then everybody was like, you applauded for every kid, because it was just like, well, that's nice. And then you obviously knew where the parents were or family were in there, but it wasn't like crazy. No one was about ready to throw hands or anything.
I'm telling you, Ben, it's
It's a problem.
But send the videos to Ben. Show him what we're talking about.
I don't even know.
Please.
If I don't even have a kid out there and I was subjected to that, I think I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I would get frustrated.
It is very frustrating.
Yeah.
But again,
So then how did it sound? How did it sound when Bailey got her name called?
Well, my 10-year-old clapped, and we're like, Harper, you can't clap.
That's
but she's also not shrieking and screaming. She was just like, yay, which she was still done in 2 seconds, which in no way would have ever. That's a huge arena. There's no way that cheering got to the stage or disrupted the next name. So we're like, okay.
Yeah, a 10-year-old
but she was
clapping.
excited.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I have actually announce your daughter's name, please, Corey.
Bailey Lindstrom.
God dang it, Pete!
Oh.
I didn't hear the next kid's name.
Well, hang on.
No way!
He's so excited and surprised.
He does have a history of stepping on touchdown calls. So why wouldn't you just walk on somebody's name?
Pete!
God, Pete, wait your turn.
Yeah. The other part, though, about that dad that wanted to fight,
Oh, man.
hockey knows once fighting grabs a hold of you, you either got to be held back or you got to fight. You can't just stand there.
Well, that was what
that
I thought
had to
is
have spilled out into the park.
Right, think about
Somebody
that.
got hit.
45 minutes of names being read. That wasn't the first 5 or 10 minutes. So he just had to sit there and stew for 30 minutes.
Oh, and you know that they're looking at the back of your head.
And
Yeah,
that's
they're fighting.
the other thing that I
they're
couldn't
fighting.
stop thinking about is like the guy that wanted to climb over the seats had them behind him for 30 minutes.
You
I
gotta
wouldn't
have
want to
your
be
head on a
behind.
swivel,
Right.
sir.
I wouldn't want to be in front of guys that were about to just rumble with me. I'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's fighting
And
happening.
let me just tell you this, too, guys, because I've been whooped by this guy.
Oh, yeah.
You want the guy climbing over the seats. You don't want the guy to be this guy. Hello. We're going to have us a fight.
Yeah.
Would you like to step outside right now? Don't fight that guy.
That
The guy
guy.
climbing over the seats, fight that guy. That's fine. He's crazy.
Yeah, that guy's Chuck Norris.
Exactly. The calm guy knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and your ass is going to be in an arm bar in
He already knows how the
0.3
fight's gonna
seconds.
end.
The guy climbing the seats is just doing it for intimidation.
Yeah,
He's
exactly,
hoping you
yeah.
back up.
He's hoping his buddies will hold him back.
He's looking to his friends like, hey, hold me back. Hold me back.
Hold me back.
Nailed it. Yep.
Never thrown a punch in his life.
Yep. Nailed it.
But the
guy
guy
that's
that's
like,
super calm and collected,
you wanna dance?
some sort of retired Marine that's just going to rip your head
Right.
off.
Right.
Yeah,
He
you
was a
want to dance?
bouncer at a bar.
Yeah.
Honestly, your best case scenario is that he just whoops your ass. That guy might have that thing on him.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and you're happy that you see the cops because you're whispering to the cop, hey, could you do me a favor? I might have overstepped a little bit here. Could you escort me out of here, but make it look like you're doing it for his sake? I'm going to scream now. Okay, my daughter's about to be announced.
Yeah, sorry, I'm the one screaming. That's not bad.
Dude,
I put my phone away because her name had already been called. But I was just thinking of all the parents that were waiting for their kids.
Yeah.
There would have been so many videos of this because so many people are either recording or about to record. Everybody's got their phone out waiting for their name. This would have been all over social media. It would have been a 30-person rumble at Mariucci. It would have been awesome.
Before we move on, I forgot to mention this. Did this happen for you? Because it probably didn't if you had metal detectors. We did not. What do you call those blowhorns? That they use at soccer games.
Oh, my gosh.
They had those too.
Vuvuzela?
They had those too. It's great. It's just great.
Really? What is wrong with people?
I felt like I was at a soccer game. I really did.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather get beat up than go to a soccer game.
That can happen. Yeah.
Up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Yeah, we can make Jesus.
Oh, sorry, the dude.
I'm going to bring a whole DJ, the PA system to my daughter's graduation.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
I would bring boxing gloves. Just
Or
in case.
brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles, man.
Brought to you by Builders and Remodelers.
Thank you, Builders and
Thanks,
Remodelers.
Builders and Remodelers. All right, the big news from last night is that the Stanley Cup final is set because the Oilers beat the Dallas Stars in 6 games. They won last night 2-1. They win the series 4-2. I mentioned this earlier. Here's a couple of random facts for you, but I think some of these are cool. Between Edmonton and Sunrise, Florida, 2,540 miles. This is the longest distance ever between final opponents in NHL history.
That is a haul, isn't it? I got to tell you, man, I don't know much about hockey, but that McJesus goal that he scored was
nuts.
It was like the most. I had to just watch it over and over. I'm like, how did he do that?
Right. And how do you ever expect anybody to defend that goal from that?
It's impossible.
That's got to be the hardest job in sports.
Oilers only had 10 shots on goal last night, but they still won. That is the fewest by a team in a playoff win since 1990.
That really is incredible.
Only 10
You said that
shots.
earlier and thinking about that. That's amazing.
2 of them went in. The Dallas Stars, I think, had 35 and only scored once. The Oilers are just the 3rd team ever to make the playoffs, to make the finals, after being 10-plus points out of a playoff spot because they started 5-12-1 when McDavid was hurt. But since then, they finished the regular season the rest of the way 44-15-5. And over that stretch, they led the league in goals and goal differential. So they, obviously, when they were a full steam kind of ahead team, were virtually unstoppable. So they are slight underdogs against the Florida Panthers, though. The final starts on Saturday. Paul, your hands up.
The Vikings and all-pro wide receiver Justin Jefferson have agreed to a new deal that will reset the wide receiver market, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback. It's a 4-year extension.
Way to go. Crazy.
Worth $140 million with $110 million guaranteed, 35 a year.
140, so 35 a year. So we all, when you guys had us guess a couple weeks ago, we said 35 to 37, I think is what we guessed is the number that makes sense. We thought maybe Justin was going to hold out and try to get 40, but 35 to 37 is a done deal.
Man, awesome.
110 guaranteed.
Let's go.
Yikes.
All right, he will be at minicamp.
Now he definitely
gets 80, according to, sorry, all
And he'll
this
drive
news
a
is coming
Bentley.
up. Yeah, he will get $89 million fully guaranteed
Golly,
at
ma.
signing.
Let's go, JJ.
Wait, what?
That's what Pelissero just tweeted.
Say it one more time because I talked on you. Sorry.
The Minnesota Vikings never wavered in their commitment to paying Justin Jefferson, who gets $89 million fully guaranteed at signing as a part of this market-setting deal.
I see what you're saying. Okay, not a signing bonus, but he basically once he signs the contract, that
gets the biggest
that
chunk of it.
guarantee will take place over the course of the contract. Yeah,
Hell yeah, man.
Wow, man.
But
So
the
hang on a second.
guarantee is
Then
a
what's the
total of
difference?
110, right?
What's the difference between the 89 and the 110 then? Then I'm confused.
Is probably the other $21 million is over time, Ben?
But if it's guaranteed, then what's the difference?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
there's
But it's
gotta
more to your
explain it.
point, though. The salary cap's a myth.
It's a myth. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a salary cap.
Yes, there is.
No chance. You can pay whatever you want to whoever you want.
Wowzers,
Just look at the
man.
Lions.
That's
Maybe they had to
Incredible.
split it up just
Enormous.
between 1 year to the next so that it wouldn't actually impact the cap.
Yeah.
Hey,
It'll come out. The details will come out.
That's huge. Maybe we should. Do you think Tom has anything to add? Do we want to reach out to him, see if he wants to call in?
I'm sure, but yeah, of course.
No.
See if he wants anything he wants to add.
1 second, Daddy-O.
I mean, that's big stuff.
Is he connected?
I'm sorry?
Is he connected? I mean,
he's pretty plugged in. Yeah,
is the writing on the wall?
That's not a contract framework that I had heard.
No, I hadn't heard that either.
But Tom's pretty.
He's kind of connected.
He's kind of connected.
He's a little bit connected, sure. Man, that's just huge.
Radio for 5 people.
Yeah, we love it.
I thought you meant, was he like down the line?
That's what I thought too. Is he supposed to be? I
was like, you don't access what?
I have no idea. I don't know how to run this board.
All right, Justin Jefferson and the Vikings agree to a deal. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second.
Ben, come on, that's huge.
Howard Chip Morning Show returns after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Yeah, man, it's happening. We are your home of the Minnesota Vikings, your Minnesota Viking morning show, the Power Trip Morning Show. We just broke the news to you. Justin Jefferson signing the deal. Stay with your Minnesota Vikings. Jumping on the phone momentarily here with theexpert.com, Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. Momentarily, we're calling him as we speak.
He's pretty connected.
He's pretty connected, but Saucy broke the news just moments ago. It is official. He will continue to be one of us, he being Justin Jefferson. Good news for the Power Trip Morning Show this morning. Ben, before we get you out of here, I wanted to get .com Tom on so you guys can have a high-level discussion of everything going on. I believe .com Tom is on the phone as we speak. Can you punch him up over there?
Yes, sir. There it is. Hi, .com Tom. What's up, man?
How we doing, fellas?
We're pretty excited as of right now, just because of seeing your tweet a couple of moments ago. It's official. Justin Jefferson staying with the Vikings, right?
4 years, $140 million. That is the highest paid player, non-quarterback in NFL history, not just highest paid receiver, highest paid non-QB. It is a massive deal. It's a total market reset. It's in line with where the discussions had been going for the past year and a half. The Vikings are always going to make Jefferson the highest paid in his position, the highest paid outside of the quarterbacks here. They did not waver in that. No matter what rumors were going around, this was the commitment. They were going to get something done. They were able to agree to terms on a deal, came together over the weekend. Justin wanted to tweet it out himself at 8:18 a.m. No coincidence there. And here we are. Justin Jefferson's a Viking through 2028.
So this whole deal, as you mentioned, everybody was a little concerned that they weren't going to get a deal done, how far apart they were, and all this other stuff. Like, as this now has all come to fruition, what do you feel like this was the total game plan really from both sides, is to wait for all the other wide receivers out there to sign their deals, to see where they were at? A.J. Brown's at $32 million a year, and then that's the new benchmark to get this new deal done. So all that being said, that was the plan from months ago, correct?
No, I wouldn't say that they were waiting for the other deals to get done because, they were pretty close. My understanding was to these numbers even back before the draft. Some of the other deals that have gotten done, whether it's, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, or Nico Collins last week, those didn't really bear on the negotiations here because, again, the Vikings were always going to pay at the top of the market for Justin Jefferson. If anything, some of the other receivers, guys like CeeDee Lamb, would want to wait and just see how far Jefferson was able to push the market here. So, it ends up coming in at $35 million per year, which, on paper, when you think about the fact that it was not that long ago that the highest paid receiver was closer to $20 million, it has really exploded here in recent years. But you're paying for everything with Justin Jefferson. Like, if we're being totally honest here, it's not just Justin Jefferson, the best receiver over his first 3 years in the league prior to the injuries last year, statistically breaking every record here. You're paying for the gritty. You're paying for him to be the face of the organization. You're paying a guy who Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah said, I don't want to be the GM if Justin Jefferson's not on the team. Well, now, Justin Jefferson's under contract for another 5 years. It's a big day for Minnesota. Just to put that drama behind, now you just got to, go through camp and figure out exactly who's throwing on the ball.
So $110 million guaranteed. And if I'm reading this right, it says on the Schefter story here, the deal includes $88.743 million due at signing. 88.7
You just quoted Schefter's
signing?
story to me, Corey. Come on. I got tweets on it, too. Just show the timeline.
Well, see, we knew you weren't that connected, Tom. We knew you didn't have it.
He's checking your work.
You're pretty connected. You're pretty tapped in, Tom.
I said $89 million. Congrats on Adam for getting the non-rounded number there.
But is that up front? I mean, that's literally due at signing? He gets that immediately?
No, it just means it means fully guaranteed. So then the other $21 million would be a rolling guarantee, meaning that it's injury guaranteed at signing, and then it vests. I mean, and let's be honest, with deals like this, with a guy like Justin Jefferson, he's seeing every dime of the contract. He's not getting cut anytime soon. But yes, $89 million, roughly fully guaranteed at signing. You know, the way that the cap works too, I mean, and the way that the Vikings have historically done deals, I would anticipate it's got a larger signing bonus. So that keeps his number low this year. He was going to be counting, somewhere in the range of $19 million against the cap on the 5th-year option. This probably drives that number down, if anything. And then, as the salary cap continues to go up, these numbers look, more reasonable over the course of time, just because, the percentage of the cap is not going to grow over the course of this deal. My understanding is it gets, the deal is more or less flat by the 3rd new year. And at that point, the cap could be close to $300 million. And, it'll look like, I don't want to say a bargain, but it'll look like a pretty decent deal.
So, Tom, let me ask you this, because if this new deal does sort of like take down a little bit of his salary cap for this year, and let's just say the Vikings have a little bit more money to spend than maybe previously thought, like, do you think that this roster is pretty much finalized right now? We don't need to add anything else? I'm saying we as the Vikings. I know that you're obviously connected with the Vikings, but they got Dalton Reisner back at the left guard position, at least to compete at the left guard position. Like, this pretty much seems like this is the starting group is pretty much figured out, correct? I mean, there might be a signing here and there, but the offseason's pretty much done, right?
I think for most of the league, the offseason's pretty well done. There's not a lot of really high-profile players still out there. I mean, I would say Kwesi has shown over the course of time here as GM, he's always going to be aggressive. He's always going to be looking to add. But, yeah, unless you're going, after some, one of the older former Pro Bowl type guys, like Stephon Gilmore's sitting out there, Calais Campbell's out there, Shaquille Leonard. I don't, Dalvin is still out there as well. I don't really see the Vikings, going in that direction, in terms of adding a veteran here. But again, if they get into camp and they see holes on their roster, they've proven that they're willing to go out and address those. And at this time of year, there's not a lot of money left. And so any of those guys who are signing, it's probably on a pretty reasonable type of deal.
Tom, I'm asking you to speculate here, but if that is the case and this is our roster, what is your assessment of the Vikings going into this season?
I think, Hawk, if you just look globally at the division, it's a really treacherous type of division because, the Lions obviously are everybody's darling. They're a couple of bounces away from going to the Super Bowl last year. The Packers might have been the hottest team in football, and they almost knocked off the 49ers in the playoffs. And, every show I see has segments on the Bears making the playoffs. I think there's a lot of people, honestly, if you stack up this division, just fans, media, they might be putting the Vikings 4th out of 4, which I think is something that Kevin O'Connell and company probably welcome, the expectations being lower because last year coming off of, playoff berth and how do you build on that? But you had, the Cousins drama kind of, hovering over. And frankly, they moved on from a lot of veteran players last year. You move on from Kendricks and you move on from Dalvin. It was a different type of team. It was a little bit of a transition year. I think that, they're always going to be with this staff on both sides of the ball, one of the best coached teams in the NFL. A lot of it's going to come down in terms of how well they compete to what happens at quarterback here. Everything I've been told is, Sam Darnold's had a really good spring. There's a lot of things that they like about him. Darnold's issue, of course, has never been looking good in practice. It's been, when the live bullets are flying in the games, kind of does he make the right decisions or does he make some of those catastrophic throws that have dominated his career? And then with J.J. McCarthy, he's just kind of getting up to speed in this. I anticipate it's going to be a real quarterback competition through the course of camp. Obviously, when you draft a quarterback 10th overall, he's probably seeing the field sooner than later. But will that be week 1? Does J.J. show enough? He's played a lot of football at Michigan. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being the starting quarterback. And if he's able to play efficient, I mean, go back to last year and the quarterbacks they were rolling out there, what they had to overcome. If J.J. could just be, or Darnold, efficient with the weaponry that they've got now with Jefferson locked up and that anchor off his shoulders, plus another year in for Addison, plus T.J. Hawkinson, plus adding Aaron Jones in the backfield, I don't think there's any reason that the Vikings can't, compete certainly for a playoff spot, if not for a division title. But I think that every one of those NFC North matchups are going to be worth watching this year, just because this is a really, really talented division right now.
Tom, the Vikings about 2 weeks ago released that video where they showed kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff of the draft, and Kwesi, the first voice you hear is Kwesi saying, our goal to get a younger quarterback started about 2 years ago. This is all part of that goal, because if you still have Kirk Cousins at $50-something million, I don't know how you make this whole contract work, correct?
Well, I think that, it was going to be difficult for the Vikings. You had three big things in this offseason. You had Cousins, you had Jefferson, and you had Danielle Hunter. Realistically, the one who was always most likely to come back was Jefferson, just because he was under contract for this year. Plus, you had, two future franchise tags. You had to go that direction. He was probably the one, plus all the other stuff I mentioned. He was the one who was going to come back. With Cousins, it was a real offer that they had on the table to Cousins. It wasn't the 45 a year and 100 guaranteed that the Falcons did, but they had a legit, offer out to him. But they also were probably realistically going to take a quarterback in the draft this year, regardless of whether Cousins was back, just because they need to make sure they're set up for the future. And Cousins is, 36 years old. So, there was, I think, a lot of confusion through the course of the process, and you've seen some of that with, various rumors and reports or whatever you want to call them about, what the Vikings were doing in the draft, including the whole Malik Neighbors thing, which, listen, the Vikings called all over the top, 5 in the draft in the weeks leading up to it, not because they're trying to trade for a wide receiver and trading away the face of the franchise. They're calling those teams because they don't know exactly how things are going to play out with the quarterbacks here. Same reason they flew down to Baton Rouge a week or so before the draft and met with Jaden Daniels. They didn't think Jaden Daniels was going to be sliding to him at 11. They met with him in case the Commanders, who were thinking about J.J. McCarthy, if they went that direction, maybe Jaden Daniels slides in that 4 or 5 range, and now you're trying to go and get him. But once Drake May came off the board at 3, after Daniels at 2 and Caleb at 1, the Vikings didn't call the Cardinals at 4. They didn't call the Chargers at 5. That's what it would have taken to go and get a wide receiver. The whole idea that you're going to trade up and take a different receiver and then after the draft is already underway, start trying to work out a Jefferson trade.
Correct.
It doesn't even make logical sense. This was always the plan to get Jefferson, and part of the plan, too, was make sure that you've got that young quarterback so that the next 5 years of Justin Jefferson's career are played with somebody that they believe can keep giving them the ball as efficiently and as a high volume as Kirk Cousins did over the past 4 years.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to clear that up, because I thought the whole Malik Neighbors thing was just ridiculous, that whole rumor. But I want to ask you about Sam Darnold again. What do you know about him from a play style standpoint compared to what Kirk Cousins was? I mean, I think that we all watched Kirk Cousins and we saw him, when he was, really rolling in this KOC offense. This was a deep downfield attacking style of offense where there was a lot of air yardage from the big arm of Kirk Cousins. Does Sam Darnold have that sort of arm talent? Are we expecting the same sort of stylistic offense, or are they going to have to, morph it a little bit to what he does best?
Well, Kirk also is a really fast processor, and I think that, just from everybody I've talked to, and Darnold's played, a few places now, you talk to people about him, and it's just, the ability to see it and make the right decisions in the games. That's the big thing. In practice, he always is going to be impressive because he's probably a better athlete than Kirk. He quite possibly has a bigger arm just in terms of pure arm strength than Kirk. But, you need to be able to see it and rip it in the game. And with Darnold, he's somebody who, go back to USC, he could extend plays. He could make things happen, with his legs off schedule. But he also had 15 interceptions his last year at USC, and that's kind of carried over. It's just these catastrophic throws that he's had to make. I mean, I think that you adapt your offense to whoever, you adapt your teams to whoever your players are. Kevin O'Connell certainly can do that here. But in terms of them, having to go way off, and do something different, I don't think that's really the case. I think just realistically, though, Kirk's got so much experience and has been in that offense so long you maybe do it a little bit less out of the gate, putting a little bit less on the quarterback's shoulders, but there's no reason to think that, Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy can't do some of the same things we've seen Kirk Cousins do.
Quickly, speaking of Kirk Cousins, what do you think happens with Atlanta and the tampering bit?
I would anticipate that Atlanta does face punishment for the tampering investigation. That's something that, it's sounded for a couple of weeks now like they were close to wrapping it up, but there's a lot of lawyering that happens down the stretch in these things. I do anticipate that there's going to be something that happens to the Falcons, quite possibly involving the loss of a draft pick. Can't say for certain exactly what that punishment would be, but based upon what I know right now, I would anticipate that the Falcons are going to face some discipline for their pursuit of Kirk Cousins.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Tom.
Tom,
when can people watch you on the NFL Network today? Are you going to be on?
The Insiders, 6 p.m. Central Time every weeknight, including this weeknight, and I'm sure will be tons of Justin Jefferson and Vikings talk, so tune in.
And I have some good stuff for you real quick, Tom, so I'll be reaching out to you soon. So thank you, buddy.
Sounds good, fellas. Thanks.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Tom.
There you go.
Tom Pelissero breaking down the breaking Justin Jefferson news, 4-year, $140 million deal with the Vikings, $110 million guaranteed.
That's
Hell yeah, man.
huge, man.
This is sweet.
And as a fan base, everybody obviously is excited. They want to get the deal done and everything else. But it's kind of crazy because he turned down $28 million a year just before the start of last season, like the day before. And then he gets injured during the middle of the season. I understand this is an unbelievable talent, but it's still like that's how much glaring it is Justin Jefferson means to the NFL and means to the Vikings, that not many players get to do that, turn down a deal, get injured, and then get a much bigger deal.
Well, we saw how important he was to this team, right? I mean, and again, everybody's saying what they're saying, Corey, about where we're going to finish, and we're 4th out of 4, blah, blah, blah. We got a young quarterback. What we've just done is signed the best receiver in the league for when J.J. McCarthy is ready to be a starting quarterback in this league.
You are correct.
Right?
You are correct.
Yeah,
yeah.
and if he's not, then this contract will still extend beyond when they take the next quarterback if J.J. fails, right? The other J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
But, I don't know. That's remember, Justin, we heard Justin Jefferson at least wanted to know the plan.
Yeah, right.
And
like Dutch.
He wanted to know, like Dutch, he wanted to know what the plan was.
I have a plan.
And, I've heard a lot of people say, like, well, athletes don't deserve that. Nobody's required to tell you what the plan is. I still think it's common courtesy. If you have a superstar like Justin Jefferson, he should be in the loop, right? Like Kirk Cousins not getting told that they were thinking about quarterback in Atlanta. How do you do that to somebody, right? Shouldn't he at least know what he's walking into? I think he should, right?
Are they looking at leverage possibly? Because if you let them know too much, then suddenly that contract gets bigger?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying in general, if I'm Justin Jefferson, I think I have every right to go.
Correct.
Where are we going with this? Are we re-signing Kirk, or are we going rookie? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I would want to know that if I'm agreeing to my
100%.
future.
And he's owed that, yes.
So whatever the plan was, he obviously knew they were going younger, or the goal was to get younger, whether it was Drake May or J.J. McCarthy or whoever. They ended up with McCarthy. And I thought no matter what, he was probably going to sign here, because how can you turn down $110 million guaranteed?
Right.
Yeah. You still want to know what they're doing.
Rob Brzezinski, Emily Bettis, all the people down at the Vite. Nice job, Quasi. It's great. That's huge. And, you have to give a thumbs up to everybody involved in the situation to get this done. I know it seemed like a foregone conclusion. It definitely was not.
No,
it definitely was not. And I love this too. A statement from Justin. I'm sure we'll hear from JJ more soon, but. He says, to all my teammates and coaches from the very beginning as a kid in Louisiana, all the way to the NFL, thank you for always being there for me and pushing me. And lastly, to Vikings fans everywhere, you'll continue to get my very best each and every day. Skol, Justin Jefferson. We have a happy superstar on our team.
Hell yeah, man.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's sweet.
And he deserves it, right?
Of course.
It's $140 million well-deserved.
Yeah, he's the most exciting rookie they've had since Adrian Peterson and Randy Moss. When he was here, the gritty tax, that was something over the offseason everybody talked about. You have to pay him a little more because everyone is doing the gritty. He is awesome. He's such a good player, and he's a great dude, too. It's awesome.
Well, and he's the face of the Vikings, obviously, but he's also the face of the NFL.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest faces for the NFL. So it's just good business giving him the money.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't already know, but he's a good enough wide receiver that if a young quarterback gets the ball somewhere near him, he'll make the catch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, a receiver can make a quarterback that's decent and look like a great.
Yeah, he's a receiver that a quarterback doesn't have to throw him open.
Right.
Yeah, he just is. Just throw
I'm
it to
really
him.
excited. I'm even more excited than I thought I was going to be that this happened. That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
It's badass.
It's good.
I
It's
was
great.
a little upset that we weren't shaving Meatsauce's head this morning.
I don't know.
But this
that was
totally
supposed to
makes it
happen.
better.
Yeah.
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 We were told we couldn't make a mess, so we can do it some other time. I'm up
So
for
we
it.
can make a mess some other time?
Well, I
don't
just
understand.
think maybe we need to have like a tarp. They know you don't have. I'm sorry, it just sounds like a shot.
No,
you don't
you're
have
right.
a lot of hair.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not like
A
it's
lot of head, but not a lot of hair.
Yeah,
That was never.
we're not shaving David Coverdale. You know what I mean?
Is that the guy in Rise?
Close. Yeah.
Oh.
A little less trim.
That's funny, man. Now, I looked him up. That's a great bit. You know what? That's genius.
Thank you. Oh, I should take a
And
sip.
the show, I got
Some
like
coffee.
8 minutes left of the show.
gonna
I
take-
got
can I
do
sip?
something. Can
Hold
you
on,
take a
hold
sip
on.
of the coffee?
Hold on. It's not like we're shaving David Coverdale.
Genius. Yep. See? I mean, look at this bastard.
Yeah, that's the guy from Whitesnake, man.
Never mind. He's from Whitesnake.
I don't know why that's a bad thing.
Corey.
He still has great hair.
Whitesnake's awesome.
Corey.
Don't do
Whitesnake
it. Don't say
sucks.
things you can't take back.
You should play some Whitesnake.
You should pray to the Lord. I don't know about some stuff.
All right, I will.
About some stuff.
I don't know, about some stuff. Zach, you still there?
Yeah, Daddy. Yeah, Daddy.
I can see him. Hi, Zach.
Audio
It's weird.
of
I'm
JJ.
there. He is.
There it is.
Hi.
Let go.
Hi, Zach.
I had to disconnect. I have audio from Justin Jefferson, the announcement that he made in Next Gen right now for you.
In Next Gen right now. Oh, cool. There it is. Thank you very much. Here you go. JJ announcement. Again, in case you're just hearing, Justin Jefferson, Vikings, 4-year, $140 million contract extension just happened this morning.
The time has finally come. The deal I've been waiting for since I was a little kid. Being doubted my whole career, not being highly recruited, not being the first receiver off the draft board. This whole journey wasn't easy for me. First off, I want to thank the man above. Without God, wouldn't be possible at all. To be given a gift to play football at the highest level. It's a blessing, it's an honor. My mom and dad, thank you. This is a journey for all of us. And y'all stood with us every step of the way. To my brothers, Ricky and Jordan, y'all are everything. Y'all made me who I am today. This is a new step in our journey, a new step in life. Always dreamt of this moment, and to now share it with all of y'all, a dream that we all had. It's a blessing. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, the Wilfs, I appreciate y'all for giving me this opportunity. Ben, my agent, thank you for getting this deal done. Last but not least, thank you to the fans. Y'all set the tone, y'all set the mood, y'all set the energy, and I'm definitely excited to set that energy for 5 more years. Thank you, all of the ones that supported me throughout the whole way. This is the start of it, but we ain't done yet. Just wait. Yeah.
I can't believe that he had an entire orchestra at his house.
Yeah.
I have been more excited to get toast at Cane's than he is to get 140 more.
You're a
That was the
hungry
most
son of a bitch.
depressed guy I've ever heard in my life.
Well, it's early in the morning.
Touche.
Man, I just got $140 million, and this is everything I've ever
Calm,
wanted.
cool, and collected.
I guess he's cooler than me. I would not be that cool about getting $140 million. The people last night hearing names at the graduation were more excited than that. They didn't get $140 million.
Oh, there's Pete again.
He's excited.
He is more excited than Justin Jefferson.
Oh, no, Pete, don't jump.
Good for you, JJ.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Man, $140 million.
That's
Good
pretty
for all
cool,
of
man.
us, man.
Good for all of us. That's right. We got stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Look at this, man. The Vikings be in there for us. Like that the Timberwolves season ends. Everybody's like, oh, I got no reason to listen to that rotten morning show.
Oh.
And now
that's
here we go.
Captain
the
Krabby
Vikings
over there.
getting there with us once again. Thank you. Minnesota Vikings. Thank you. Rob Brzezinski. Thank you. Quasi.
Who's the guy that drafted him?
Thank you. That guy. Rick Spielman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Philadelphia, for passing on him
Thank
and taking
you.
a guy who's terrible. See?
Who did?
Wasn't it Jalen Reagor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. He plays for us.
He did.
He doesn't anymore?
No, it was New England, I think.
Thank you.
Something like that.
Right. Thank you.
With the Patriots?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Cut?
I
Is
don't
he
know.
even in the league?
I don't know.
Thank you, New England.
Yeah, thank you, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, he does play for the Patriots.
If we had done headlines, they would have been brought to you by our friends at Wolf River Electric.
I ain't
You can
afraid
go
of doing
solar.
them. Let's do them now.
Oh,
We
I
got
guess
2 minutes.
got a
Do
couple
me a
minutes.
headline.
Go solar
do
with
me a
Wolf
headline.
River Electric.
I'm so pleased now.
You guys are young. Maybe you understand this, but
I
you guys
am
have you guys heard the phrase Instagram official? Right, where like when a relationship goes official, it's Instagram official.
Gotta let everybody know.
Me and the
Gotta
kids,
let everybody
we say
know.
that all the time.
The new dating trend is the opposite, though. It's called no launch, where you don't post about your relationship at all. So you're together, no launch.
Yeah, I've seen that from people where it's like a soft launch where you don't see their faces or something.
Yeah.
Man,
There is just one person in that relationship that gives a damn if it's
just show off
official
your
or
lover,
not.
man. Be
53.
proud of your lover. Show off your lover like Hawk does with my
I
dad.
ain't gonna lie to you. I'm 53. I still launch like a champagne cork.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Genius. We're like, Hawk posts
stole
pictures online and it's just the top of my dad's head, That's a weird sentence.
Yeah, it was.
That's because I knocked his hat off.
Oh. Wow.
A fruit stand in Australia had to install security cameras after someone in a Maserati kept stealing bananas. A Maserati stealing fruit.
Come on.
Come on, man.
What kind of stand again?
Fruit stand. Genius! You don't even have to say it. I get it.
Not this month, Core.
Come on, Cora.
All right, here we go. Last one. Somebody can come up with a genius joke here. A flight attendant smuggled over 2 pounds of gold in her rectum.
Mine in for gold. Eesh.
Man.
Sauce, you got a funny joke? You're a stand-up comedian.
A lady found gold in her rectum.
That's not a joke. That's a recap of the story.
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, thanks, Hawk. See,
Yeah, you
this is
gotta
why I don't
think.
say you're genius. You're grabby and mean.
Land a joke. You
You're
got
quick to
under
rip me.
60 seconds. Go.
Well, they found her lucky charm.
Don't sip.
I didn't. I don't have
Okay,
anything
don't
to
sip.
sip.
Try it again.
That's not a sipper.
Talk about a gold rush.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Maxo.
Why would that be a gold rush?
You know what?
Try it again. One more.
No, hold
Rule
on.
of 3.
Think about it. Think about where the baby had where the woman had the baby.
Golden Corral, yeah.
Yeah. Think about it.
Oh, got it.
Go ahead.
I wonder if that's all you can eat.
Okay. It's gold. It's gold in a rectum.
That's where I got my gold teeth from.
Oh, yeah.
Brody.
That's the Midas bit. Have you seen that Family Guy bit, Zacho?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, I'm glad Zach got the joke.
All right. My guess is 9 to noon will reference the Justin Jefferson contract at some point.
Probably.
And they're next. We're back tomorrow, 5:30
Zach, are
to
you
9.
on tomorrow or not?
What was that?
Oh,
That's exactly how I felt.
All right, see you.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You too, Abadabba. Thanks to everybody that came to Hawkfest. Really appreciate it. Thank you all. Love you all. Thank you.